YouTube? It is your favorite gamer here, Above Average Cody, and today we are diving into oddball strategies for ranked. You guys know the drill. We're going to go over some overall basic oddball tips, and then we're going to dive into the 3 ranked maps and strategies to help you guys win more oddball games. The maps we'll be covering are the ones you see most often in ranked and the ones the pros play on. We'll be going in order with Livefire, then we'll be going to Recharge, and then we'll be going to Streets. Let's get right into it. Alrighty guys, here we are on Oddball Livefire. If you guys don't already know Oddball, obviously it is round based. It is a best of 3 rounds, so you need 2 to win, and you need 100 score or 100 seconds of holding the oddball with your team to win a round. You can, of course, pick up the oddball like you would a weapon, but then you cannot do anything except melee with it or drop it, obviously. It is 2 melees to kill. It is not a 1 melee, and then you can obviously throw the oddball. If you look up, you can throw it up a little bit as well, so if you want to throw it up onto ledges, just jump and aim that way. And then, of course, since you can throw it, guys, you can, in fact, juggle it. So if you're in rotation, you can throw it out ahead of you so that you can sprint because you are unable to sprint with the oddball. You can merely walk around with it. Now, that is pretty much all of the basics on oddball. Of course, you want to hold the oddball. And if you see the oddball out, guys, and you are the closest one to it, pick up the oddball. I don't have any doubt in my mind that some people are better at holding the oddball than others. You may even have an objective player you choose to use because maybe they're the quote-unquote worst fryer on your team. But that's pretty much all you need to know about the basics of oddball. You can also shoot it and blow it up. If you hit it with a grenade properly, it'll go flying. And of course, how could I forget to show you guys one last thing before we go into some live fire strats? You can, of course, quote-unquote, play the ball off the map. This is called playing the ball. You merely throw it off the map, and then it will respawn at the starting point you saw me grab it from at the start of this live fire round. Now let's go over a couple strats here. Now, first off, grabbing the ball on live fire is probably the toughest feat. You definitely want to get a couple kills before you do so, because I guarantee you guys, and you've probably already done this plenty of times, if you just sprint in and grab the oddball, you're going to die. You're either going to be met with death from here, from here. They can even drop down from mid. All those people going up to grab the sniper, they will drop on you. They will throw grenades on you. It is horrible being in here. So I recommend getting a couple team kills, possibly even like kills with your team. Don't literally kill your team. I recommend playing for the overshield, especially post Season 2 update. The overshield is much more worth playing for. So play for the power weapons. Even if you give up a couple seconds on the oddball, that's really not that bad in the grand scheme of things. And also the ball resets if you let it sit too long. If it sits and you're just fighting over it, it will reset on the pad. But yeah, giving up a couple seconds really isn't all that bad. And keep in mind, the other team might be just as afraid or also playing for the power weapon. So if you are able to get a few kills before going for the ball, that is ideal. It will yield you the greatest success. Now, the 2 best places and my favorite places to hold the ball as a team are obviously either top tower or back that way in garage. I'll show you tower first. Grab the ball. Jump up here, bring it up, guys, and then my favorite places to sit are either on the back stairs here, but you're kind of in the grenade blender there, or you can sit right here and just be very careful because they can see you peeking out there. But you want to make it such that you are not visible from mid, and again, you are not in the grenade blender. If you're in the grenade blender, they're going to be throwing them, they're going to be bouncing here, they're going to be bouncing down the stairs. So if you're standing here, you're very vulnerable, guys. And the way I like to use the ball, rather than holding it too long up here until I have to send it off the map, guys, I'll usually drop back. But as the oddball holder, guys, you have to be vigilant and very aware of the surroundings. And this is where I say some people are better at holding the oddball than others. You have to pay attention to where the enemy team is spawning. This is where communication is going to come in huge, because if they're coming this way, guys, you can rotate the ball out this way, because you know the enemy team's on the other side of the map. You can rotate the ball out this way and get that extra few seconds of time, and then maybe your team will win the gunfights, and then you can wrap it back, or worst case scenario, you just play it off the map over here. just be vigilant, guys. Do not be afraid to walk the ball around and things like that. And just remember, live fire has a lot of out of bounds areas like this, so it is very easy just to take the ball and send it right off the map. And as promised, the other best place to hold the ball is here in back garage, guys. Now, personally, if you can avoid holding it here, I recommend going to green if you are on the side of the map, but we'll talk about that in a second. Mainly because people like to hold it back here because it is a very good vantage point in terms of either wrapping it back that way, wrapping it back that way, or even going out to mid. But the downsides of this area are, one, you do not have an area out of bounds where you can play the ball out. So basically, you're restricted to just throwing it out into open space and hoping your team can win the fights off respawn. But you are also in grenade central back here. There is a million places where you can bounce the grenades and squeeze them into tricky spots to basically kill the ball carrier, kill the team, and overall just do a lot of damage. So I recommend avoiding this area, but this is a good place, you know, sit here. But again, they can bounce the nades right off this. So just be smart. If I'm holding the ball here, I am looking to rotate it out the moment I know where the spawns are coming in. If they are spawning green and coming in garage door, guys, I'm out of here towards OV that way. And it's very easy to just be vigilant and just listen to your team. Hopefully they're calling out where the enemy's coming from. If not, just use your eyes and figure it out yourself. Next up, guys, as I mentioned, wrapping out to green is very clutch, bringing it right out to here. Because you have an area where you can play the ball. Where I showed you initially, you can throw it right off here. You can stand here, and if they kill you, you can just fall off the map with it. Some people prefer to do that so that you can guarantee yourself a play ball, because sometimes it will hit that little ledge there, and it will roll and not play. That time it hopped right over it, but I have seen that ledge stop the ball. And there's also this cute little tricky area. I mean, the enemy can see you if you're holding the oddball, but this might buy you a second or two of time. But guys, overall, holding the oddball, be vigilant. Don't be afraid to drop the ball and put in some shots. Maybe your team killed 3 enemies and there's 1 left and they need a little bit of help. Feel free to drop the ball on the ground, guys. Put in the shots you need to get that kill and then pick the ball back up. Or, again, if you have a person that is better at holding the oddball or just isn't frying as good and is ice cold and says, give me the ball, by all means, guys, drop the ball for him. Let him pick it up. Of course, if it's safe. If it's hot and bothered, then you're going to have to rotate it out. There's no time to be talking and arguing about who's holding the oddball. Anyways, let's move on to the next map here. Alrighty, guys, here we are on Recharge. Now, the second of the 3 maps we'll be going over. Now that we covered all the basics in live fire, that's really why it took so long. We'll be a little bit faster on the next 2 maps here. Now, Oddball here obviously spawns in the center of batteries in the center of the map, with active camo being down here. A very interesting play you have to make, and a thing you're going to have to discuss with your team. If you've watched the pros play this map before, guys, they go crazy with focusing the kills and getting overall map control before even touching the oddball. You want control up top, you want control across the map, and you really want to maneuver as a team to where you're going, rather than live fire where you can kind of just get the kills, send one person down, and then bring the ball out to a safe area. Because going to grab the ball here, you are very vulnerable, so it's generally more ideal to grab the ball, throw it in the direction you're planning on going, and then just doing your best to stay alive and putting in damage on the enemy team. Now, I'll show you kind of in my rankings the best places to hold the oddball. There are 3 really good places to hold it. All the rest is kind of just rotation or middle ground. But the first place I prefer to hold the oddball is back here behind C plat. And that is very obvious because you have an area to play the ball, guys. Generally, it's most ideal having an area where you can play the ball, and it gets very, very interesting back here because you can hold it up here, you can hold it back here, but the best place everybody loves to hold it is right in this little nook and or cranny here. I usually like to stand here, kind of move to this thing, so if you die, you're guaranteed. And then again, don't be afraid to drop the ball, put in some shots, grab it. But it gets very, very interesting here because you have the repulsor right here. You want control of the repulsor because, of course, if you've seen all the repulsor videos, you guys already know you can repulse people off the map. You can repulse the ball carrier off the map, and just it makes for some very interesting oddball holds here on Recharge. And again, guys, the oddball really spawns in the most interesting place because there are literally so many places that you can get shot from, and that's kind of what makes this map so tough and interesting, and how you have to play it. Now, my second favorite place to hold the ball here is right up here in attic or pipes, if you will. Very tough place to hold because, again, guys, this one is a grenade pit, just like back garage. On live fire, you can throw serious grenades there. You can come up from here. You can jump right up from batteries. You can come down long haul. The grapple makes it very clutch to come up and break this. But it can work in your favor with the nade pit, guys. Depending on where people are pushing, you can get them in a grenade blender. And if you have sword, you can lock this down pretty freaking good. Now, the reason I like this one good, despite it being a kind of locked-in area with nowhere to play the ball, guys, is because you can't play it off the map, but due to the elevation change and how hard it is to get up here, it does take a little bit of time to either take the stairs, come all the way down pipes, or jump up here in general. So playing the ball out to mid-map is kind of like playing it off the map, either throwing it back to the spawn, or you can get it all the way down in pit, depending on where your team is. If you're getting swarmed by a ton of enemies, top pipes, guys, hucking the ball out there is absolutely so clutch. It takes everybody time to go get it, and again, if you have one teammate down there already, it could be a great play to get you a couple seconds. And then, of course, you could see the direct path to my favorite place to hold the oddball. Next up, guys, a very viable place, at least if you're close to winning or whatever, is holding it back A here. You have a bit of elevation change with the elevator, so you can kind of drop back, you know, maneuver around with the ball. You can take it down to pit. The only issue with being back here, guys, is one, the grenades, and two, elevator's very nice to drop down to, but the enemy can just as easily sneak up here and get the back smack on you if you guys aren't paying attention watching all the angles. So again, a bit of a stickier place to hold. I recommend using it maybe in transition, like if you're trying to get over to C, and then you can just have your teammate wrap the ball out. And again, guys, juggling the ball is really cool. It is very important in maneuvering the ball, but just remember, if you're close to winning, you do not want to be juggling. If there is no danger, there is no point to juggle the ball. Just take the slow move, your teammate will put the shots in, and then you can keep scoring as you go around the map to move with your team. And one last thing I want to say about this map, guys, is just keep in mind all of the cross shot angles. It is great to like stay around your homie with the oddball, so if he drops it, someone else can pick it up. But keep in mind, if you have the cross shots and you really have that good stranglehold, guys, you really don't need to worry about dropping the oddball too much, especially if you have a good holder on the oddball, like in this corner or something. Just spread out, get the kills, and hold separate angles. This map is full of crazy long-distance angles, so if you got a team that can shoot straight, guys, spread out. Just be sure to get the cross shots on your homie holding the oddball, and if he rotates it out, try to move such that you have the angles to cover him. And here we are, guys, on our third and final map here. Streets. The oddball spawn does spawn in the ATM's cutout here. Makes for kind of an interesting grab for both sides because, of course, Spanker there, Oddball there, kind of two birds with one stone if you can get control of the middle of the map. You can drop right down onto it. And, of course, it is an absolute nade pit from either side. It is very easy to rattle around some grenades in there, guys. So be sure to use those on your journey to grabbing the oddball. I'll jump right into showing you guys my favorite places to hold the oddball here. The best one probably being back tram. I mean, it doesn't offer a lot of movement in terms of where you can take it from here. But I like this area the most because if you sit right here in this corner, guys, it is impossible to get a grenade on you. Not impossible if you can time it perfectly from like maybe B stairs and get it to rattle off this right here. But it is a very tough area. Then you plant your teammates back tram, maybe throw one up top stairs here, and it's just a very clutch spot because the only way to break this, and guys, if somebody's holding it here and they see this video and they're holding it here, just go over to these stairs. I promise you, unless they have somebody literally standing right here, which they won't, use these stairs. Nobody uses this jump. Just come right up and then back smack him, or just smack him in general if he's looking towards you, obviously. But this spot's so clutch because, A, if somebody does get up here, because this is the only way to come up here. Unless you're in higher Onyx lobbies, again, I don't know why more people don't use this jump up. I don't know if they don't know if it's there. I don't know if they forget it's there. But I talk about it in all my Streets videos, guys. Use that jump up. But 99% of the time, they're going to be coming from here. And if you're in this corner, they can't see you until they already break through. You just walk up and then you just clonk them with the oddball a couple times, guys. Easy money. You get a long hold. You get a big hold as long as your teammates down here can hold. But obviously, if you see them encroaching, they're coming up here. You get the call-outs. You got a triple push coming up Pink Street or something. Again, as mentioned, there's nowhere to play the ball out, but playing it towards mid can sometimes be like a play ball. So I'll literally jump up and take it this way, or I'll literally jump out with it, guys, and try to maneuver it away. I may leave my teammates back there alone on the fight, But then if I can wrap out here and their entire team is pink streets here, you can usually get a teammate to spawn back here in PD, and then you just take the ball right to my next favorite hold here, and I don't even need the oddball to show you. Basically, a lot of people love holding in PD. I find it to be very much a danger zone because even though there's 3 ways in and or out, absolute grenade central. If the enemy team can get the bulldog shotgun, guys, you're in for an absolute nightmare. And if a spanker rocket gets shot in here, forget about it. But a place people like to hold it, guys, is back here on desk. But again, I mean, you're not really offering your team much help because you literally have vision on absolutely nothing as the ball carrier. You're relying on solely on callouts and just hearing where the enemy's coming from, which is kind of risky. But you can just as equally get a big hold here, guys. If you have 3 absolute friars shooting around while you're holding the oddball, oh my goodness, forget about it, guys. You can get, like I said, you can get probably a 100-point hold here if you're good enough at holding it. And again, it offers more open space outside, because then you can hold a lot of different angles here and kind of kill all the enemies as they come. But as the oddball carrier, you don't know what's going on without good team communication. And just a little tidbit of knowledge, sometimes the oddball can get stuck under the desk here. Sometimes you have to go crouch to grab it. But, and sometimes it'll just get stuck. But again, it'll just reset. So if that happens, guys, I mean, I would try to get it out from under the desk. But also, maybe just go to play the reset just in case it does reset. Another good thing about holding it back here in general is you can kind of see where the enemies are coming from. As I mentioned with live fire on garage, guys, you can rotate either way around the map. This map I like to do the most juggling because it's faster movement, especially if you're maneuvering through open space. I know plenty of times I'll come out of PD and I'll rotate it out, juggle it to here, and then I'll go top A. And then top A, you can jump down to mid, you can jump back down this way, you can take it all the way to Pink Street and aim for Tram. Million different things you can do, guys. It can be a very tricky map, but also very straightforward at the same time. And over here, you also have the drop shield, so if you're trying to hold your own back A, you can throw it on the drop shield to buy yourself a little extra time. If I have to hold it back A here, I like to hold it right here because it is very hard to place a grenade here. You can place one right like here pretty easily, but then you can just go down here and survive it. You can go up here because they're probably throwing the grenades from mid and here, and even if they ricochet off this wall, it's going to bounce right past you. So it's really not a bad place to hold, but again, it's not too great for really long holds. But yeah, guys, that pretty much covers everything for oddball. Again, don't all play on top of the oddball. You want to spread your teammates out. I recommend putting somebody that's maybe not an amazing friar to hold the oddball, maybe the weakest shooter on your team. But also, you want somebody very intelligent, very aware, with a lot of map knowledge to rat the ball around. You'll always hear when we're playing Halo, guys, we say rat it out, you know, king of the rats, you know, because having the oddball, it could be a matter of 5 seconds to the win, and you are last alive. Sometimes you have to be tricky. You have to have the map knowledge to know where to go, where you can get shot from, where the angles are. Because, guys, that can win you some serious games. So it's not always about being the bottom fragger holding the ball. Sometimes you just need somebody very intelligent to be holding that oddball. But that does it, guys, for this oddball kind of tips and tricks slash like strats video. Really not sure what to call these, but you guys get the point. We do one for strongholds. You guys wanted the oddball one. Next up, we'll have King of the Hill coming hopefully later this week as soon as I'm able to map it all out and kind of get it down to you guys. But as always, please subscribe to the channel, guys. A lot of Halo videos. We've been streaming a ton of Vanguard Ranked. Modern Warfare 2 is coming. Basically, a lot of gaming, a lot of fun in general, guys. And please leave a like on this video. It helps out so much so more people can find this video. And as always, leave a comment. If I left anything out, you guys have any amazing oddball tips and you want to add on to any of the tips that I gave, comment it down below. I'll leave a heart on it. It'll jump to the top so that other people can get help from you guys, the viewers, as well as me just doing these videos. And that pretty much does it, guys. Channel membership's $4.99 if you want some cool emojis for the live streams and stuff like that. But that does it, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all very, very much. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.